And we're live. Can we do
You want to talk about Comey? Because fucking Comey stood up today.
Do the rapper.
Was
I want to talk about the rapper.
Let's do the rapper first.
All right, I just want to say Comey is 6'8". I just want to make sure I don't forget that later.
No,
Yeah.
Fucking he's dude. 6'8". He's 6'8" crouching. So
yeah,
he's got the opposite problem.
The Secret Service got like such a pussy next to him. It was like that guy's protecting that one.
I saw one picture of him because when I knew he was 6'8" like a year ago or whatever, and I heard that, I'm like, that can't be right, because you only see these people sitting down. I looked up a picture of him standing with Obama, and there is no wonder that Obama was probably like, hey, maybe don't be in any more pictures with me, you know, like because Obama. I looked at him and I'm like, man, if this was the first photo I ever saw of Obama, I'd be like, how short is this little dude? See, this is like a little 5'3", cute fella, but no,
he's
just
like
enormous,
6'2", right?
Obama's like 6 foot or something, so he's not short. It's just Comey is a monster.
I heard one of
he's like the same height
Comey's
as Trump,
a monster.
but Trump lies about his height, and it's hard to tell which is real.
I heard that one of the reasons that Trump fired Comey was that he was so much taller than he was.
I doubt that's true.
No, I swear to God. They announced today his new pick for FBI director, Gary Coleman.
No, he's dead. It was actually Danny DeVito. That was fake news. Yeah. They're what is it called? Embalming him or exhuming him? The little body of Gary Coleman sitting there on the desk.
Trump had him exhumed years ago. He bought him from the CBS Corporation. It's like a good luck charm. He rubs his head every time before a business deal.
It seems like the Michael Jackson estate would own that guy's remains. Like it just
pretty much.
Michael Jackson already had his part about boy. They don't get any.
The Trumpster, you say?
Oh man, I got up early this morning.
What
got
time
my coffee.
is early in Kyle's world?
11:45.
I got up at 6:30 so that I was like ready to roll at 7, and I had to go do some things. But anyway, I was sitting there fucking, and by the time I got back, I was a little bit late to the Comey thing. But I sat down. I watched like 4, maybe 5 senators interview him. I got like an hour into it at least, like the last hour. Although I'm aware it went 2 hours.
Real quick, to jump in. Did you know that in D.C. today they opened bars at like 6:30 in the morning? Or in California they opened bars at 6:30 in the morning so that people could watch it. And it's like, if you are showing up at a bar at 6:30 in the morning on a fucking Thursday to watch a hearing, you have many more problems in your life that politics is not going to fix.
I was watching. A lot of bars were offering a free beer for every time Trump tweeted during the thing, and he didn't tweet a single time. But yeah,
they were probably really happy about that.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Oh, this could go badly.
So this was the first time I'd really heard James Comey speak, at least in length. I was incredibly impressed by him as a speaker and just as an individual. He just exuded gravitas. He exuded calm, collected, focused intelligence. He was smart. He was believable. He seemed to have integrity. Everything about him was the opposite of a Donald Trump. He was precise and exact with his speaking. Every word, there wasn't any fat on his speaking. He didn't use any extra fluff words. He told you exactly what was going on. And if there was an area where like things were going to get a little fuzzy because whatever, we should move this to the other hearing because of et cetera, legalese, blah blah blah. He said it very. When he explained why he couldn't say that thing in a way that was satisfactory to me as the viewer. And then the motherfucker stood up, and he's 6'8". Like, did that guy just win the genetic lottery? He's clearly an incredibly intelligent guy. He's a massive dude. I bet he's got a 13-inch cock. What is the
12.
Downside to being at least? What's the downside to being
guy.
James Comey?
The downside is everybody in the country really, really hates you. And then they come back, and then 2 days later they're like, "Oh, fuck that guy again!" And so you never know what's going to happen when you wake up as James Comey. So I would say that's a big negative.
I bet James Comey has a brilliant career in the private sector ahead of him. And today he put on we have a sponsor that helps you, ZipRecruiter, helps you get your job posted online. James Comey just went about tenfold of what ZipRecruiter could ever do. He just sat in front of 1 billion people and showed you that he's one of the most articulate. Yeah, maybe, probably not as good as ZipRecruiter. You know, sitting in front of 1 billion people.
I want to see these people. Like you're saying that he'll go out and have an awesome career in the private sector, which he will. He'll go work for some military contractor or something. But what I want to see eventually is someone like even if like Obama did it or someone, but one of these politicians to not go into the private sector and go into something where it's like, well, I've always just wanted to be a train conductor. So I finished the presidency, and so I decided that that's what I'm going to do. And nobody can tell me no. I was the president. Fuck off. You know, or like whatever he does. Yeah. Like that, that would make me like Obama or any of these politicians so much more. If fucking Bernie Sanders went out, well, no, not him. But if Obama went out there and did that, or if Comey became a train conductor, I don't know why the idea of that is so funny to me. He's crouched down,
ice cream truck driver guy, with the music and everything, driving through the suburbs.
Yeah. I feel like George Bush has the most potential to be funny with that because, like, you could see George Bush leaving the presidential office and being like, "Kind of want to be a U.S. Marshal." yeah. Can I have a horse too? What if he wanted to be a Texas Ranger and like that was his thing? He like, of course he's got the pull. He just goes and calls up his buddy Rick Perry and he's like, "Yo, I want to be a Texas Ranger. I got my own gun. Don't worry about it." And then he just sign him up. He'd totally give him a badge. Gun. Don't worry about it. Give him a fucking badge and tell him to go. I've heard about that a lot of times. Like one of the things that rich gun guys really, really want, and I'm not even kidding here. I don't talk about it much. The thing they all want is a badge. And if you have enough pull, you can get one. If there's a governor in New Mexico or a senator in Arizona or something, he can fucking give you a badge and make you law enforcement. You don't have to go to a job. You don't have to like clock in. Now you are just deputized.
I don't know.
Lost you, Yonas.
And you have arrest powers and all that stuff. And they talk about like, you know, getting lights on their vehicles and doing and the end goal that a lot of these guys explained was they wanted to go on DEA raids. And if they had this like whatever badge they were getting from the state, then they could go in with like a SWAT team and be part of that shit and be part of raiding houses and stuff. And like all those guys really wanted that. And I was always hearing like, yeah, Dave knows the like junior senator from like New Mexico, or it was always somewhere in the Southwest where like I guess things were a little bit more lax.
Can you just picture like after W calls, "Hey Rick, Mr. Perry, you know I'd love to be a marshal for you," and then like 4 a.m. the next morning he like calls, I don't mean to wake you, Mr. Perry. I realized just recently I forgot to ask about the dress code. Is that something that's important to you? Or like I could just picture him still being kind of a blithering fool, even in his post-presidential world. Like, because obviously, like in the like years after they leave presidencies, they're always like, "Oh, remember that guy? What a champ! You know, how great he was." But like, you go back to when it was happening, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's an evil dictator." But I don't know. I wish they would do stuff like that more. Or if they, like, so many of these politicians make fucking hundreds of millions during their careers, apparently, great salaries, I guess, or they're doing something nefarious. Buy a sports team afterward. That's always my first go-to for billionaire. Buy a sports team.
Yeah, I'm with you on that sports team. Like, I that would be really cool to be able to influence something you cared about that much. I think I would want to. I'd rather own, and I know that's not a thing, but a professional fighter, if that makes any sense. I think I'd want to be like.
Do they have?
I don't know. I don't know how that would even work. I don't know how that would work. But I would rather that. I'd rather own Chad Mendez or TJ Dillashaw and be like, yeah, I pay for all of his everything and I get 30% off the top.
You guys already lost the Civil War. Like, you can't own these people.
We're taking it back. Enough paperwork will make it. Slavery wasn't completely abolished. It was there's that little caveat in there unless it's given as a punishment. Then slavery's okay.
I didn't know that. Oh wait, that's probably not true, and I'm being very gullible right now.
You can't Google unless you put some money on it.
Oh,
so now you know it's not true. Yeah, because
it's true. It's true.
Wait, is Kyle saying that right now? That you're saying that it's a law that slavery, you can have a slave if it's a punishment? So if someone like murders your wife, you could like the judge might be some like goofy, like I declare that you become his butler. Like
no, this is not Jerry, the sitcom that Jerry Seinfeld.
My butler.
Fictitiously made in the show Seinfeld, but no, like you put someone on a chain gang. Clearly, you are forcing them to work, right? I'm almost 1,000% sure that's a thing. The amendment. Which amendment was it that outlawed slavery? I don't know off the top of my head. The 26th or whatever the fuck it was. It's in there that it's except by a punishment. Like that caveat is like the last sentence in that paragraph.
We started talking about Comey. We got distracted by his height and penis size and never really finished the conversation.
Dude's hanging dong in the Senate. Come on.
I just like talking about the Bible. I realized. I
was gonna say on the every week, not every week, but at least twice a month, I come in thinking like, ooh, this could be the week that like minds are changed, positions are reversed, and the Trump grit will set in, and it never seems to happen. But I feel like certainly the Trump experience is getting chipped away. I'll say this notion that he might actually do something as president seems to be like not even an expectation anymore, right? Like he just did that signing ceremony for his memo. Did you guys catch that big thing?
Negative.
Oh, well, he did a signing ceremony, gave the pens away to people, had cameras in, brought in this little desk, and all he did was he wrote a memo to Congress saying that they should privatize the FAA, like privatized airports and stuff. And they're like, this wasn't a...
Oh, I'd love that.
He acted like he signed a law, but he didn't. He didn't actually... It wasn't an executive order. It wasn't a law. It was literally just a memo from him to Congress making a suggestion. And he put a big ceremony around it to act like he was getting things done. And people went wild with it because he's not getting anything done. Like the first 100 days, when was that? Like 50 days ago? I've forgotten. But he really didn't get... Probably
30, 40 days ago.
Doesn't matter. Close enough.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
But like in the first 100 days, it was like, wow, he really hasn't done very much at all. You take away the Supreme Court nomination, and I can't think of much. There's certainly positive stuff. There's a bunch of executive orders. Now, like, I just don't like... Are there any bills being worked on? Are there any like Trump
infrastructure
initiatives?
plan? Yeah, the infrastructure thing is big right now. It's like $1 trillion infrastructure bill. I saw Bernie Sanders really tearing into that, but I don't give him much credence when it comes to something on that level. Yeah, sure. I don't know if he's going to get anything done either. It really seems like, to me, from the outside looking in, and watching that hearing today, it seemed like everybody in the room thinks it's a big fucking joke. Like all of those senators were kind of like, there was some levity there. There were some laughs. Like he said something like, I didn't want to, he made some quip about not wanting to be left alone in the room with him. Trump.
Oh, okay.
Donald Trump. Comey made some quip about, not wanting to be left alone in the room with Trump or something like that. And it seemed like everybody laughed. Like you could feel kind of a collective thing like, yeah, none of us do. And it was just like, because he'll lie on you. You want to have somebody with you. You want co-counsel with you, your partner with you, or you want the attorney general, or you want the VP. You want somebody else in the room who will corroborate your story when it comes down to it, because he'll lie.
I read that.
And even more than he'll lie, I think he'll misremember and then start remembering the way he wants to.
Because his private attorneys, I'm told, only meet him in pairs because they feel like Trump will change the story and lie about what happened, and they need backup.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about?
He's definitely guilty of like a revisionist self-history kind of thing.